Well. For your viewing pleasure, today we bring you an extension of the Tate ambient power module made for atmospheric potential harvesting and many other interesting things that may not be immediately apparent. Probably going to have 2 or 3 vids because I got a couple different things to show once I hook it up differently. Starting down here at the bottom, this is the traditional Tate circuit. There's first 4 capacitors and 4 diodes that you see there. They give a voltage doubling effect. It's a voltage adding, actually. It shouldn't really be called a multiplier, but whatever voltage you put into it, AC of course, with each additional stage, it gets added. So if you were to put 120 in there, you would end up with 120 plus 4 times X, or 5 stages in this case. So I've completely replicated all 5 stages here, or 4 stages, however many that is. Looks like 4. And I'm going to show you what I've been playing around with. All my capacitors are 5 microfarad, 370 volts. Even though the voltage is way higher in some aspects towards the final stages, no real danger of rupturing dielectric on the capacitors or blowing out the diodes that are, I think, only rated at 600 volts. I'm using full-wave bridge rectifiers, so I'll show you those in a second. But stay tuned. We shall go over here. This is it. I showed the picture earlier with the configuration. It's a complete cluster right now because everything is never used wires and we're in all the proper lengths, so it doesn't look pretty. We'll see if we can fix that up later. This is the final stage out here. These outer 2 terminals are the output. These 2 black wires here. The input positive is right here, which is assumingly the antenna from the diagram, and the ground connection is right here. And in this case, what I'm doing is I'm driving it with a function generator. So my signal generator is only on about 20 hertz. The output level is all the way up, right this way, and we're on the ×1 scale, so it's just using 20 hertz, and I'm using the sine waves. The square wave actually doesn't have much of an effect on it, not as much as this output. So as you can see, just the function generator output, which I think is just a couple of volts with the output level all the way up, we managed to accumulate up to 150 volts coming out of the 4th stage output of this. That's pretty interesting for just the function generator. Over here we have only this one's unscrewed. That's just I think it's a 3-volt bulb, a little incandescent bulb, and that's all. This is made for 2 AA or 2 D batteries, or C batteries, I don't know, D batteries, to light them up to get 3 volts. So as you can see, when we discharge, it actually has enough current to fire that bulb for just a second there, and look, our voltage is right back up. I'm going to discharge it, and we come right back up really quickly, just from the function generator. So this is really similar to the magnetic resonance amplifier using the piezo and the transformer coil or the choke coil, excuse me, bifilar coil to get a resonance feedback going on. That itself may have some interesting results with this, but I don't have one of those on hand at the moment, so I have to hook it up later and show you. But for now, I just want to show you that the frequency is actually, any higher frequency doesn't seem to help a whole lot. In fact, we start to actually lose voltage as I go up to around 100 hertz. I'll go up to the next scale, which is way up there, ×10. We're at like 1 kilohertz right now. You see the voltage is dropping. I'll short it out just to show you from scratch. The voltage climbs back up. It's still okay, but it doesn't quite get as high as it does with the lowest frequency possible. See, I'll turn the frequency down and it'll start climbing a lot more. than it would if it was all the way up. And like obviously up on the megahertz scale, the output's really low, so it can't get quite as high as it was before. Short it right there. That's on about, I don't know, let's round it off, 100 on the 1,000 scale. So I think that's 10. I think that's 100 kilohertz. You see it. It'll slowly climb. The more I go down, though, the much higher the voltage becomes. So into the fact where it's all the way down on like 1 hertz, and it seems to have the best output on it. Yeah, 1 hertz. So let me pause here, and I'm going to unhook this function generator, and I'm going to, if anybody remembers the Overdriven Tate original with the single stage, when I was driving it with this small fluorescent light ballast, which is around, I don't know, 2,000 volts and some odd frequency, and we shall see just what this baby can do. Stay tuned.